incluidos los comentarios de Confucio. ¿Dónde se puede, si es conseguible, existe eso, qué nos diría el maestro?
Donald, what Pablo is asking is if there is, where can he get some kind of reproduction of the most original I Ching book, which also contains the articles from the Confucius time?
Only Chinese version. I can give you, I can get you, but only Chinese version.
Okay.
Not, I search, I search a lot before I prepare the materials for this class. I try to find a book which consists all the 4 parts, or the 4 parts, including the quick commentary. But unfortunately, I could not find it. Yeah, because I could not find it. Maybe there are some, but I could not find the English version. But Chinese version, yes. Chinese version, yes. That I can find. You want, I can send you one with the Chinese one. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I will have to learn Chinese first. Okay.
But
That's an opportunity.
But it was written in ancient Chinese, not contemporary Chinese. It's very difficult to read it.
That's for sure.
El chino antiguo.
Para los que están, se lo traducimos, o sea, la pregunta de Pablo fue esa y la respuesta del Chifu Donald fue solamente el I Ching está en chino. Y que él estuvo buscando para esta presentación alguna versión en inglés y no la encontró, por lo cual todo lo que están viendo en inglés es toda traducción personal de él, porque toda la información que hay a disposición, por lo menos él no encontró nada en inglés, todo está en chino.
También es importante...
Así que Pablo anda a estudiar chino.
Sí, es importante aclarar que Donald nos contaba que él estuvo estudiando, esto que nos está contando, lo estuvo estudiando durante 10 años para llegar también a la interpretación de cada uno de los hexagramas. Entonces, tal vez tampoco es algo tan simple como leer y ejecutar.
Claro, sí. No, está claro. Bueno, gracias.
A vos.
Okay. Hola, buenas tardes. A mí me gustaría hacer una pregunta, algo que me quedó ahí con el tema de adivinanza y filosofía, que ¿a qué le llaman adivinanza? Bien, si me pueden explicar eso, y qué pasó que se pasó de adivinanza a filosofar, esa tradición, esa traducción del libro, ¿por qué hubo esa transición de hacer, digamos, un cambio a filosofía?
Ok, aparte del cambio de la adivinación a filosofía, vos querés saber qué significa. La primera pregunta, ¿cuál era?
¿Qué significa adivinación para ellos? Si puedo tener una breve introducción.
Okay. So, Donald, are you there? I can't see you.
Yes,
but
I'm here.
Sergio wants to know what divination means in this context, and what made the path, from divination to philosophy.
Okay. Divination in the past, it is normally is the king or the royal family. They use it for something they cannot decide, some big things, big event. Like what? Shall I make a war with the other states? Shall I do something? Make a war? Do I start a war? Shall I start a war with other states? Because it's a very big decision. It's not easy to make it. Then maybe it's good or not good, then they will make a divination. And there is the method of divination, the ancient way. Now we have many ways of fortune telling, you may say fortune telling. Then if you are interested in it, in the future, I can organize a class for how to do this divination. They use based on the cosmology, the idea of the cosmology, how the universe comes into being. Based on this concept to do the divination. It's another big topic. Okay. Then after that, you can get a hexagram. You got a hexagram. Then you got a hexagram, then you based on the hexagram statement to predict as the basics of the prediction. All right.
I will explain that, Donald. Before. A ver, Sergio, básicamente lo que entiendo que dice es que los antiguos lo usaban, el método de adivinación es como hoy tenemos Exceles y escenarios, antes no tenían esas cosas, entonces es como el oráculo, ¿no? Tenían que tomar decisiones, tenían que ir a una guerra, entonces, o tomar algún tipo de decisión, simplemente lo usaban como método de adivinación. So, and the second, y la segunda parte de la pregunta es cómo es que pasamos de la adivinación a la filosofía. So the second part of the question is what happened that they passed from divination to philosophy? If there is something that provoked or made that transition.
That is because of the as I said here, in the Han Dynasty, that because the Han Dynasty, the king, the emperor of the Han Dynasty, they advocate Confucianism. Then it makes Confucianism that because one of the great idea about the Confucianism is in the I Ching, the explanation of the I Ching. So then that's why Confucian's idea is on the I Ching. Then because this idea is more philosophy, because it tells you what to do as a good man, as a superior man. And then now actually we are also learning that I know that in the Western world, what is
we have an example.
The philosophy is why and why and why and why. Always ask the question why. And actually, the Confucius, the I Ching, the 10 wings, it also tells you why, and it all gets back to the cosmology, called the origin. You will come to that in this class.
Okay.
I mean, in this course.
Okay. Let me tell.
Then that is
Let me tell Sergio that part. Okay. No sé, Sergio, si lo pudiste entender, pero básicamente el pase es, en Occidente también pasó lo mismo desde de la mitología a los filósofos griegos que hablaban del porqué y del origen, ¿no? En medio de la dinastía Han, lo que se quisieron enfocar más era en lo que le aportaba al hombre las relaciones que había con los hexagramas y el I Ching, más que adivinar el futuro o qué vendrá, o si voy a tener, o si el emperador iba a tener gracia o desgracia en una guerra, ¿no? Digamos, el shift, el pase fue más a enfocar en el camino del ser humano. Bastante parecido a lo que sucedió en Occidente para la misma época, con Sócrates. Ok. No sé si hay alguna otra pregunta. Si no, continuamos.
Sí. Continuemos por el tiempo.
Ok.
Al final hacemos.
All right. So now I said not all the book you found on hand include the 4 parts. So now we just a bit more explanation on the contents. Okay. So as I said, some will include the text of the hexagram and the lines, as well as the relevant part of Greek commentary. Some, however, include only the text of the hexagrams and line without the letter. So it is in English version. I at the moment, maybe they have at the moment. I could not find when we have the 4 parts. Only part of that. Richard Wilhelm, they include part of that. All right, and some book they do not. So just a recap about the hexagram. So this is the hexagram. So the upper trigram and the lower trigram, the below one, the top one, the name, and this the hexagram name, Ching. This 10 is the hexagram name. Modesty is the meaning. Humility is humbleness. And why this is called humbleness? Why this image is humbleness? It's because now the upper trigram is the earth. Upper trigram is the earth. Now you will know the attributes of each of the trigrams. just let you know that these 6 broken lines are the earth. And this one, below this one, is the mountain. The attribute is the mountain. So normally, the mountain is on top of the land, of the earth, on top of the land. And mountain is very big, very high, very great. And now it goes below the ground. So normally he's great, but he is willing to go below the ground. He willing to go behind the scene, do some many things good to the people, but he willing to go behind the scene. So this is called humbleness.
Let me take a minute to explain more or less this. Acá lo que muestra Donald, un poco en la construcción del hexagrama, él explica que los dos triagramas, el de arriba, que son las líneas cortadas, simbolizan la tierra, the earth, y la parte de abajo simboliza la montaña. Entonces, cuando la montaña, que normalmente es la que está en la parte de arriba de la tierra, en el hexagrama aparece abajo, el significado es precisamente el que podemos ver ahí, ¿no? Modestia, humildad. Ok, Donald.
Yeah. And then there's a hexagram statement. Hexagram statement, if the superior man can remain modest all his life, he will have bright prospects. Okay, so this is the hexagram statements. And then the 9 statements. Now look at the 9 statements. The first one, the first line, initial yin, because a person who is extremely modest can successfully cross big rivers. Now then you can see from the original, that is translation, cross big rivers, which means in the past, someone want to predict whether I should make a trip, go outside, make a trip, not go outside, make a trip. You know, in the past, transport is not so, in the old days, transportation is not so advanced. If you want to go to other city, some other place, it's very dangerous because they may cross the mountain, cross the river. All right. So the original 9 statement, the 9 statement is that if you can modest, you can successfully cross the big rivers. I just want to show you that the original is the prediction. So if someone want to, I want to go to other city, other place, should I go? Because why they ask? Because they may face dangerous situation.
Okay.
They may call the animals, you know, animals, river, a lot of dangers.
Let me take a moment. Bueno, ahí comenta, por ejemplo, el significado de una de las líneas de los dos triagramas, o de las 6 líneas del hexagrama, que dice que una persona que es extremadamente humilde puede con éxito cruzar los grandes ríos. Sobre todo esto está escrito, hay que ver el contexto también, que esto está escrito en una época donde los medios de transporte no eran como los de hoy, entonces cruzar ríos o cruzar montañas era algo realmente difícil. Esto de alguna manera en la interpretación sería que la humildad, por más que, esto es una interpretación mía, pero digamos, que la humildad lleva a vencer grandes obstáculos. Yes, Donald.
Okay, yes. So also give you one more idea is that when you read the hexagram, you read it from bottom to the top, from bottom and then to the top. And this 6 lines from the bottom to the top represent from the different time period. It's the stages of development of the situation, of any situation, any cases. Yeah.
Ok. Comenta Donald que el hexagrama, como decíamos antes, se lee de abajo para arriba. Entonces, ese orden que está puesto de las 6 líneas tiene que ver. I'm sorry, Donald, the order has to do with.
Below, from the bottom to top. From the bottom to the
But it has to do with the development, you said?
The development of the any situations. any situation, any cases. It depends on you want to go to the city. Then first you want to make a trip. Then what do you want the different stages? And then first you get ready. Second, you start to go. Third, you are in the course of the journey. Third, so on and so forth. Then these different stages.
Okay. Y esto tiene que, Y esto tiene que ver también con la evolución de las diferentes etapas. This is not literal, I mean. This is interpretation. It has to do with like crossing the river.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, obviamente no es literal, ¿no? El sentido evolutivo, ¿no?
All right. So the second the second statement. Okay. And then third. So so that is the 9 statements. And then the number 4, whole or part of the Greek commentary. This is, I said already, not every book you found nowadays on hand is include everything. But I can tell you that some of the translation, they make it more philosophical or is based on the Greek commentary. They're based on that. Originally, just a very short statement. You don't know what is that about. It needs people's interpretation. So first one is Confucius to interpret this statement. And then over the 3,000 years, the many Greek scholars make the interpretation. Even nowadays, people still make interpretation. But for me, I don't read the nowadays people's interpretation. I read the old days. the old scholars.
Bueno, un poco comentaba lo que venimos diciendo, ¿no? Que estas líneas, los hexagramas, las líneas y los significados se complementan también con las interpretaciones que hizo Confucio en el libro de las 10 alas.
All right, so this is about the contents. You have the idea about it 4 parts, but not every book have this part. All right, this is the examples. Another examples, like Richard Wilhelm, they know hexagram. They don't draw the hexagram, but include part of the Greek commentary. Like this part is talking about is translated from the Greek commentary. It said the mountains, the youngest son of the creative, the representative of heaven and earth. Like they use why the mountain is the youngest son of the creative. Like then that's another thing, another knowledge you have to study. So it's very difficult. Very difficult. That you don't have good enough knowledge, then it's very difficult to interpret. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what I understood is that, for example, it says no hexagram, but included part of the great. I mean that there are some translations that include the great commentaries, and some others don't.
Then that is the translation from the Greek commentary.
Okay. Okay.
You may not understand what it means. You need further interpretation or translation. Yeah.
Okay. Bueno, acá lo que muestra Donald es precisamente, bueno, acá aparecen las interpretaciones de la época de Confucio y de los grandes comentarios.
All right. Then there's 9 statements. All right. This is so for this book. This one doesn't include the Greek commentary. Just only some is interpretation. Yeah. So we can find just 2 books that you see the difference. Yeah. This book doesn't have the Greek commentary. That's there's some interpretation from other, I don't know from whoever. But anyway, this is his translation. All right, just have an idea. Don't you can spend your whole life on I Ching for all the knowledge inside it. So don't worry. The purpose is just to let you know what is it about. At least you know when people talk about I Ching, then you know what is that about, and then you get the value. What's the value of the I Ching is about the guide 9. You study its guide 9, and then maybe you can cross reference with the hexagram. Then that will be I think that will be okay at the moment. I mean, that is what the purpose. Okay. Very different levels. It's not easy. I mean, absolutely not easy. I spent 10 years already. Yeah.
Thank you for that comment. commentary. Thank you for what you say, because my mind is blowing up.
Yeah. All right.
Lo que dice Donald es, bueno, nada, para aquellos que quieran leer todo el I Ching, tranquilos, esto es simplemente una pincelada inicial que, bueno, puede llevar toda una vida, ¿no? La interpretación y el meterse en los significados y en las líneas, ¿no? De los hexagramas.
All
Okay.
right. So don't worry. Actually, just know what I tell you now. Then that's it. I mean, if you want to understand the whole knowledge of it, you have to spend your whole life.
Ok. No es la idea entender todo ahora, sino tener una base de las características de lo que es el I Ching, ¿no?
All right, the characteristics. So first, that's difficult to understand. Why? Because those are using ancient Chinese words. Yeah, okay, just like English. Some if you use the classical or ancient English word, you may not understand it. So also, although the text has been translated into modern Chinese and English, its meaning is still not clear since it's interpreted by different people. So you may have confused that the same hexagram, someone says like this, someone say like that. Then what should I follow? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Bien,
that's why it's difficult to understand.
Ok, una de las primeras dificultades que tiene el I Ching, aparte de la traducción, es precisamente la interpretación, como decíamos antes, ¿no? El I Ching se tradujo del chino antiguo, ¿no? Sin embargo, hay palabras que han sido traducidas digamos, al inglés y al chino moderno, pero cuyo significado todavía no queda tan claro y que todavía es sujeto a interpretación de diferentes personas.
Okay, so that's because of this characteristic, it makes it highly adaptable. Highly adaptable, why? It's the only book that has been subject to so many interpretations by so many people in both the past and the present, according to their own perceptions, understanding, values, and backgrounds. And that's also this characteristic make it so great. It cover. Okay, you talk about first. Yeah, you translate first, please.
Ok, thank you. Bueno, quizás una de las cosas más interesantes o mágicas del I Ching es precisamente que es altamente adaptable, con lo cual, a pesar de las traducciones o gracias a las interpretaciones varias que han tenido por tantas personas, tanto en el pasado como en el presente, es como que, bueno, ha abierto mucho, la interpretación misma ha abierto mucho a diferentes comprensiones de valores, de antecedentes, dependiendo de quién lo traduce, y que también es aplicable a diferentes profesiones o etapas de la vida.
So it can be cover the area fortune tellers, different background, different understanding, different values, can be in the area of fortune tellers, philosophers, politicians, Chinese medicine doctors, ancient astronomers in China, even astronomy, architects, mathematicians, literature, scientists, historians, feng shui master, qigong masters, kung fu masters, so and so forth. So we can see different of this is so highly adaptable. So sometimes, I Ching is very great, you can tell the fortune. I Ching is very good, it's a philosophical book. I even have the kung fu. Yes, true. Sometimes I use the I Ching, the yin and yang concept to explain the Wing Chun. Some of my students knows it very well about that, and they think, wow, it's good to understand it. Yes, see, it's because highly adaptable. So don't worry about that. Why don't worry? It depends on which area you want to focus on. And today, now, if you focus on philosophy, so that's why I talk more about the philosophy. You can, using the perspective of the feng shui, then you also talk about using I Ching to talk about the feng shui. You can also talk about using literature, so and so forth. So that's it. So
okay. Bueno, precisamente lo que dice Donald es que bueno, esta característica de adaptabilidad puede ser aplicada a las más variadas profesiones, ámbitos profesionales o ámbitos de la vida, ¿no? Desde adivinos, filósofos, políticos, bueno, ahí tienen la lista, astrónomos, arquitectos, matemáticos, historiadores, científicos, no solamente desde el punto de vista de la profesión, sino también desde la mirada que se le da de las diferentes profesiones o aspectos para poder encontrar algo en la interpretación del I Ching mismo.
Okay, so is that okay so far?
¿Estamos bien hasta ahora? Yo no sé, pero no estoy viendo no estoy viendo a nadie, me estoy viendo a mí nada más, pero bueno.
All right, then I
Sí,
go on.
podemos seguir.
All right, go on. Go.
We
I
can go
don't
We can
know
go on, Donald.
the whole PowerPoint today, but I will leave it. I will leave it for next lessons. But anyway, I don't want to rush. I want you to really understand it. Then, because this background are very, very important, if no one to consolidate those information for you, it's quite difficult for you to grasp the whole idea of what teaching about, and not to mention to further your study, the study of teaching.